maybe you have about 5 to 6 members. Preferably the teachers, they will be usually 2 days when I have my next class. But right now we can't, so we have teachers, they will write and yeah,
what level of students do you teach? And you teach them math, correct? Okay. And do the students have assigned seats? Do they always sit at the same place?
Preferably so. They will prefer them to sit in the same group all the time because I usually mix them in groups with different learning abilities.
Right.
So the good and strong ones will able to help the weaker ones and stuff like that in problem solving.
Okay.
So they can sit wherever they want in their own groups, but they have to be in the group.
Right. Okay. And you said the problem is to get them to move to different groups?
Yeah, whenever I go in, I have to spend at least 10, 15, sometimes 20 minutes watching them move the desks and the chairs and stuff together in the group.
Okay.
And that is a big drawback.
Right. But isn't this the way it's arranged when you enter the room?
No, because...
that's what I wanted you to draw for me. How is it arranged when you enter the room?
You can draw anywhere. You can draw anything.
It's
Anyway.
just teacher desk in front, and then sort of semi-rows and columns.
Okay.
Depends on the class.
Yeah, 20 to 30 desks.
It's a box
Do
line.
like a cluster.
Sometimes it looks like a bomb exploded.
Maybe 1 or 2 solo desks. Yeah, a bed, yeah, chairs, like person.
Christopher, our students spend breaks and stuff in the classroom, and they kind of own the classroom, and the teachers move around. So what happens is, the reality is you really never know what you're going to get.
Right.
They'll be in there, they'll turn the desks into forts, you know, or beds, you know what I mean? You just don't know.
Okay.
That's why I asked question about creativity.
That's not 5.
That's quite close.
5/2, yeah?
Yeah, 5.
About
That's
that.
too geometrically
A
perfect.
floor mat for a bed, you know.
Third.
Okay. Now with primary students, I know that with primary students it's actually a bigger problem. Okay? And what teachers do, and this sounds really strange, is that they actually spend class time the first few weeks drilling the students to put the chairs into tables. So, put the tables into groups like this. So the teacher will walk in and the classroom will be like that. And the teacher would teach them all the steps to put the tables together. Remove your backpacks. Put the backpacks on the side of the walls. Step 1. Step 2. Get with the people in your group. So all the people in group 1 over here, group 2, group 3, group 4. Step 3. Take all the tables. Put them together. So there's 5, 6 tables here, 5, 6 over here, 5, 6 over there, 5, 6 over there. They do this even with primary school students. How long does it take the students to do this the first time? You're saying that your Matayong students take about 10 minutes to do it. I assume primary students aren't going to be any faster. It's going to be about 10 minutes. And the teacher drills them on this so that 10 minutes goes down to 2 minutes. Okay? Now it sounds like a big waste of time, but it's not. It pays off over a while. Because if you can walk into the classroom and get the students to do this as a drill, say week 5, week 10, and they can do it in 2 minutes, think about how much time you're going to save. Originally it took you 10 minutes, now you're saving 8 minutes per class meeting. Okay? So that is one way to get them to do it is actually physically drill them. Another thing that's a problem is handing out books, handing out papers, especially to primary students. It takes them quite a while. So teachers go ahead and they actually drill this into the students from the beginning. So that it becomes a routine for them. And the object is to do it correctly and do it as quickly as you can. Okay? It takes a lot of time, the first few lessons, the first few weeks, but after a while it becomes a routine. Now if the teacher walks into the classroom and say the maths teacher and the science teacher and the English teacher all do this, then it's going to be that much easier. The students are going to know what exactly to expect.
Yeah, that is if everybody does the same thing.
It doesn't have to be everybody, even if only 30% of the teachers do it. It's not one teacher fighting what is the norm. It's 3 or 4 teachers fighting what is the norm, and the students come to expect what to do. Okay?
But I just like this interesting question. If the students are alone, sit alone on the desk,
Right.
and he want to continue sit alone, he's different. He comes from written school. He don't understand the rest. He don't know what the rest talking about. He don't want to be grouped with anyone.
Right. He doesn't want to join
Is it
the group.
possible? Is what going to be fight or?
Or if the group doesn't want that particular student in.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I honestly don't know what the answer is to that. That's something that the teacher's going to have to decide. Are you going to push that student to join a group, or are you going to let them be isolated? You know, that's up to you. Okay.
And I think maybe an Achilles heel is that here you're assuming you're dealing with really them on one way to continue with that. What if they need to be able to get in an exam room, or you want to use, or
Right.
you want a circle? So
I understand,
I
right.
think you just have to be willing to spend the time to get the kid to where you want them.
Sure. So if you go in one lesson and want them in a U, another lesson want them in a circle, yes, it's going to take some time to
And
do
it's
that.
worth it for the variety.
I think so as well. There's a the name of it.
Chris,
Yeah.
okay. You're listening? Wouldn't this be an argument then for teachers having their own lessons so that the teachers can configure their lessons?
100% correct. Yes, I agree. Yes, that's true. It is. I forgot the name of it, but in the U.S., in urban areas where there's a lot of disadvantaged people, a lot of poor people, a lot of people whose first language is not English. In general, those schools don't do that well. In general, the students don't get very high scores. And there is a program, I'm sorry I don't remember the name of it, where they take teachers and they teach the teachers about 50 different techniques. And this is just one of them. Drilling the kids to get them to put the seats, arrange the chairs the way they want. Get the kids to pass out paper, books, and pencils. And they do this, and it seems like it's a waste of time for the first 2 or 3 weeks. But over the school year, they save so much time that they can actually focus on teaching that at the end of the year, the scores of the students go up. If you're interested in knowing about this, there's a fellow called Doug Lemov, L-E-M-O-V, and he's written a book called Teach Like a Champion. And he goes through and he talks about these different techniques. They're very mechanical things. Things like how to ask students questions, how to involve all the students. And he has, I believe, YouTube videos of him interviewing teachers and showing how classrooms that follow this approach work. It's quite interesting. It's not based upon a methodology. It's simple, basic classroom management. Because the reality is, no matter where you teach in the world, in primary and secondary, we spend so much time trying to keep students on task and get them organized. But if it can become a routine, and it'll take a few weeks, then we can save a lot of time and focus a lot more on instruction. Okay? So that's a very interesting book. You can go to EnglishTips.org. Don't ever tell anyone I'm telling you this. And you can get that book free on an e-file. Okay? English Tips, that's one word, .org. It's a free website. You have to register, but they have all sorts of illegal, interesting books. Another one is BooksOS, BOOKSOS.org. Another very useful one. BOOKSOS.org. Okay, so that book is a very interesting one, especially for primary school teachers. I think it'll also be useful for you. It shows very basic things in classroom management, which unfortunately we're not taught when we do a teacher training program how to do. And also, Thai students are just not used to that.